Danny. Look at this. Look at this. He won another one. And it wasn't even close.
Well, it's funny. Now Fabi is definitely experiencing some tilt, and we love Fabi, obviously. You know that, right? He's a good friend, and I was just hanging out with him in LA at Ludwig's thing. Like, I'm just saying, like, no disparagement to Fabiano, but this is just an absolute slaughter. And now Fabi on tilt. But earlier, Danya, Fabi was playing well. That's what's so impressive about this. There were many moments where we wouldn't have been talking about a storyline, of historic proportions, Magnus potentially not losing a single game. So whether Fabi's on tilt now or not, the fact that we're even here talking about it is mind-blowing.
Plus, given Magnus's form today, show me a player who wouldn't get crushed by Magnus today. Like, show me a player, right? And I'll wait. Because...
Show me the money.
I don't get that. That reference went
Jerry
about 30,000 feet over my head, Danny.
No. All right, Magnus is on the attack right now. What's going to happen next if the knight moves? Oh my god, we've got knight h5 coming, queen h6, and you can't take it because h7 is mate. Okay, so knight g8 was the only move. That was the only move. Knight g8 had to stop queen h6.
I mean, this is just what happened in the previous game, and he's doing it again. Now, he doesn't have the dark squared bishop this time, but the knight is perfectly capable of handling business, as is the other bishop, which could sack itself on g6 at some point. Queen g3 is the kind of move Magnus likes to make in these types of positions. Okay, queen f4, even
also
better.
Good. You're threatening to just take and then win h6, which is why Fabi plays king g7.
But you can't take f6 because the rook on c7 hangs.
Yeah.
So
knight h4 not what the doctor ordered. I was going to say,
no.
Can you just play g5?
Rook g3 and then king h8 maybe, but Carlsen will sack on g5 with checkmate there.
Oh no, rook c4, also a good move. I like that.
Yeah, Magnus slipping a little bit here. This might be the game. This might be the game.
If Magnus is all in on this attack and he slips up, Fabi could quickly turn things around. White does have weaknesses on the queen side.
I think after knight f6 to e4, White is very much still alive.
Okay. Takes g8, rook g8.
Queen f6. You might have to just bail out and
try to
pawn
bail
down
out.
endgame. No.
Ooh, knight c2. The bishop was pinned. He's all in, sacrificing
G6.
a rook.
Here he goes again. Here he
What do you
goes
do?
again. 10 seconds for Fabi, maybe g5.
Oh my gosh. The fact that he was giving up the rook for knight g6. This is wild. Okay, under 10 seconds. Magnus could finally meet his maker here. He went all in on this attack. I don't know that he's going to pull it off with 4 seconds.
I think he might. Queen e3, and he counterattacks the knight, and he's getting out of it again.
No, let's see.
King h2. What a move.
Fabi's got the pressure. e5 is hanging.
And he should have captured it, and now Carlsen's starting to push him around a little bit. Knight takes g5.
2 second, 1 second. The check is on. The king is running. F7's
Queen
weak.
f6.
He goes for it. Knight f3.
No, there was a pinned. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Now the eval bar's swinging. The h-pawn is running.
We're swinging now. We got our blunders. Oh, h4's falling in the end. Queen 8.
Not quite. Not quite. How is Carlsen doing this? He's still alive. He's pushing the h-pawn, and he's winning after queen h5.
This is
no.
F7's falling.
Rook f7 wins.
Oh, he had rook f7.
He missed it. Rook f7 ended the game, but now
Fabi's turning it back around a little bit.
Not quite. I think queen g8 ends it.
Oh my, no, he can take with the knight.
Doesn't. Rook h6.
Knight d5. Okay, look out for queen c6 and discover checks. No, the h4
and look out for check. Rook takes c6 was a threat
1 second.
Now queen takes h8.
Oh my god! Queen h8 for g8 and Fabi's just like...
Ladies and gentlemen, I am beyond words, beyond speech, beyond everything right now. But this is absolutely wild.
All right, I'm all in rooting for the first victory of the day for the American. Come on, Fabi, let's go. That was right there.
I mean, he had that in the bag. He was one move away, but just black magic from Magnus Carlsen again.
The H-pawn ran. There were so many opportunities. That was one of the only games we've seen with the eval bar swinging, which is crazy that it took us getting to the bullet portion before any blunders started happening in this match. That was just nutty. All right.
This is insane. We'll get a pretty symmetrical position here. Actually, another nice position, I think, for Fabi, who can stick a knight on d5 when he wants to, and he might do it now. No, not yet.
I don't think I could physically twerk for 3 minutes, chat. I don't think that's physically possible for my body to do. But I appreciate the poll.
Another blunder. Bishop c4. The tactical sharpness is out of this world.
Bishop g3. Okay, but in the end, there's a tactic here as well. e5 for Fabi.
Yep.
Where's that knight going? If you go to d7, b7 falls. That's the point.
Knight d7, knight d5 is also pretty terrifying.
Oh, knight d5. The bishop disconnected from the rook.
So, knight e8. Knight e8 or knight h7. Oh, wow. This is close. Fabi could steal this one.
Come on, Fabi. Where's the tactics?
Queen e3. He's got
I don't want to twerk for 3 minutes.
Queen e3 comes to mind. The rook doesn't have a lot of squares. Maybe
Queen e3, because if queen c5, you have rook c1. So queen e3 looks great.
Yeah, maybe a slower move like b3 to cover the c4 square. But bishop e6, I thought, and knight f4.
b7.
Okay, but Magnus is all right here if he's careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, Magnus is stabilizing again. I would take the bishop and we can go h4, bishop h3.
Wow, h4. Nice move. White is better. The e6 pawn is weak. Keep the pressure. Keep the fun.
Yeah, boy, definitely better here. He shouldn't lose this.
Switch this thing up to the other diagonal. Hey, how do you get in that knight on f8 and there is no checkmate? Thank you, Mikkel Tau.
e4. Caruana playing some excellent chess this game.
Yep. Do you go b5 and try to use c6, or do you... Okay, he does.
Bishop d3. Setting up the battery, but the knight on f8, Danny, is such a nice defensive piece. It's guarding h7.
Yep. Knight on f8. There is no checkmate. That rhymes for a reason. All rhymes are true. It's true. That's
and again, it feels like Carlsen isn't even close to losing this game.
He allows queen f7? Oh my god, and Fabi's like,
rook f8!
What the bleep?
No!
Bishop takes e6 check. You still have it with bishop f7
95.
or bishop f5.
95. It's over. I think it is. Knight g4 and knight d3 are both threats.
Yeah, the bishop is pinned, and the queen is overworked. She has to guard f2 and all kinds of stuff.
Queen f2
Knight
even
g4
wins.
check. Knight g4 check first even. Oh my gosh, Magnus does it again. You see Magnus, like... I think Magnus knows he hasn't lost yet. I think Magnus is, like, dialed bleeping in right now.
I think he's adopted him, and at this point, we're rubbing it in by saying that it doesn't matter. The whole match has been one big adoption. And
it's frustrating. Look, Fabi's had an incredible career and is an incredible player. We know that Magnus Carlsen is the GOAT. Was before this match, okay, debates. We can start a GOAT debate in chat if you want. But this is just one of those days where sometimes you just want to forget about it. The moment this is over, whoever's hanging with Fabi, assuming he's playing from his home in St. Louis, it's time to go get a nice meal and watch a funny movie, tuck yourself into bed, Get
some Thai food on DoorDash, just take a long walk, realize that the world is still spinning, and your neighbors are still mowing their lawn, and, for the time being, businesses are still operating. So for Fabi, he's going to bounce back from this. But at the end of the day, if you're going to lose a match like this, Danny, there's no shame in losing it to Magnus Carlsen. Yep.
And he played really, really good chess. I mean, honestly, like the early portion of this was one of those where Magnus was just a little better. And stylistically, we know Magnus has always been a tough opponent for Fabi. But then it just became, Magnus showing up. They say class is permanent, form is temporary. I don't think Magnus wants today's form to be temporary. He wants to carry this over. Give me my next opponent ASAP.
By the way, the insane bishop c5 might work out here for black. It's a queen sack, and I think he's going to do it. He's calculating it. Go for it, Magnus. Bishop c5. He plays it after
C5
the trade. Oh, there's no stopping bishop e3. Oh
my god, you can't stop it?
You can't stop it. You got to go.
Oh my god, Fabi just shook his head. It was like, WTF, why the Fabi?
It's over again. Look at this position. The bishop on g6. This is the power of control over a certain color square. The light squares are monopolized by the bishop, and the king is entrapped in a crazy mating net. Rook takes d2 and rook d8. Or this. Yeah, and look at this.
Rook
Look at
A5
this
and you
mate!
can't stop checkmate.
Oh!
I gotta get out of here.
I'm getting out.
I gotta get out of here.
Bye.
I don't remember the new rules do allow someone to resign a match with 10 minutes to go. I don't want Bobby to resign because I want him to get a victory because I don't want him to work for 3 minutes.
And he's going to get a win. He's going to get a win.
He's going to get a win. Come on.
But at this point, Magnus, of course, is aware of the stat. And trust me, Magnus is on a mission. He is trying harder than he would be trying if this match were tied right now, I think.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean. And not because he's trying to be cruel or he's trying to rub it in, but at the end of the game, chess is a violent game. And it's a game in which you go for your opponent's throat. And we wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, and it's not every day you have an opportunity to just capitalize on what is some of the best chess you've played. So, you build on it.
Yeah,
and,
it's just sad.
You have to take every game.
Fabi.
Yeah, you have to take every game as seriously as the previous. I think he would be, a little more nervous if the match was tied, I'll say this, but he is trying super, super hard. Not a single one of these games is showing a sign of Magnus letting up. We're not going to see a bond cloud here. He is going to drive this home.
And the great thing I think about chess fans and chess players is that we're able to simultaneously celebrate, amazing accomplishments over the board and sympathize with the player on the other end, because it's not easy to be in Fabi's shoes. It's incredibly painful, and the pain is going to last, throughout the day and for a while. And it's sad to see him, but it doesn't mean that Magnus is supposed to give him the win or allow him to score an honor goal. He's going to keep fighting and keeping the merciless killer he's been thus far as the match hits the 10-minute mark.
Agreed. And I'll say, too, the other reason you don't let up is, look, these guys play each other in more games and in more matches than just this. And I think Magnus, and his desire to dominate his opponents and his peers over the last 2 decades, his generation, is very real. I mean that. Magnus is obviously, an incredible star and known for his talents and his genius. But I think his competitive drive to win may be underestimated. Maybe people don't always think about it. But I think Magnus appreciates his ability to drive home a memory that Fabi is not going to forget. And I think that he realizes this is a match that he's going to flex. And not to say Fabi's going to let it distract him when they play, let's say, in Tata Steel coming up in January. But don't underestimate that Magnus knows when he has an opportunity to leave a mark, and he wants to do it.
And
it's one of the things that makes him great. That's the truth. It's one of the things that makes him great. Is he has a killer instinct. Oh,
a ridiculous killer instinct. And after, I think I blundered because Bishop D5, there is ED. So I'm going to wait until the end of this game to make my point. Queen F6, Rook E8 check is over. King H3, escaping the checks and winning the game again.
Unreal. Here comes
unbelievable.
Rook E8 or Rook G5. He goes
Queen G7 and Rook E5, and it's all over again.
Know a position like it's a table base. Like you just go for that. Oh, that's just a draw. I'm like, what? Like you just give up the C pawn and that's the draw?
Was the wherewithal to realize that White's king was completely cut off, and if White had gone F4 there, then there was a check on the third rank, pushing the king away and winning the F4 pawn. So literally no way to make progress. And Fabi basically with 2 more chances to win a game.
Maybe
Carlsen
one,
is on the home stretch.
Maybe one, depending on how long this goes. Magnus is... Yeah. If you're just tuning in, don't go anywhere. We have never had a Speed Chess Championship performance where a player who won didn't lose a single game. Magnus Carlsen has not lost today in improbable fashion against the American Fabiano Caruana, who has also played fantastic chess, but Magnus has been on another level. Absolutely unreal what we're witnessing. And in the moments like that, Magnus, even when he's losing, you gotta you have to double tap. In Zombie Land where you gotta shoot him twice in the head. I'm sorry, it just got violent. You ever seen double tap?
Danny, when you start a sentence with in, probably in most cases the answer is going to be no.
I probably shouldn't talk about it. But okay, Zombieland is a great movie. It is rated R, a full disclosure, and I apologize for that, but most of you guys are playing first shooter video games. Sorry, the dad in me doesn't like to talk about shooting people. But the point is, if you're killing a zombie, kill them twice. That's the message of the movie. Magnus is like a zombie. You can't just kill him. You got to kill him twice. Double tap.
Or 800 times. Like some of those in Walking Dead. Now that I've watched.
Yeah. You've never seen Zombieland?
No, I have no. And the funny thing is, people know I love horror movies. It's not a horror movie though, right?
It's kind of a comedy horror movie.
Is it Jesse Eisenberg?
Yeah, with Woody Harrelson, who's a good chess player, by the way. Shout out to Woody. He plays on chess.com regularly.
Maybe he's watching the show right now.
Shout out to Woody.
I've watched a couple of minutes of the movie. But another point I was going to make, Danny, is that Magnus hopefully will be in a slightly better mood in this interview. Something tells me he's just going to be a little bit happier this time around.
Yeah, and we might talk to him about some of the games that felt like the turning point. I think that game where he played G5 and broke through in what looked like a dead drawn bishop ending, talking about a player who, as you said, he has changed the direction of chess in many ways. Maybe one of the biggest impacts he made in his legacy will be that he doesn't take a draw just because the position's a draw. And
he doesn't try to draw ever.
He wins games you weren't supposed to win 30 years ago. And that game with G5 where he beat Fabi was in my mind the backbreaker and the game that really set the tone that we were in store for something special today.
And not only has he changed the way people play in equal positions, he is, I believe, at this point, undisputedly the greatest endgame player of all time. A title that I think is completely uncontested as it stands by anybody, either in chess history or in the world top 10.
Well, he's on pace to.
He might lose this endgame, but
no, he's. I think he's the only one who can win this.
Oh, because A2 bishop. Sorry, I missed bishop C3 to A1 blockade.
Oh, he has rook takes C6 and bishop B4. Oh my God, he does it again. Okay,